You don't think it can happen to you.
Violent collision kills 2 people outside Tampa International Airport.
An alleged road rage attack rips 3 families apart. Tonight, we're learning about the boys who were killed.
Prosecutors are going to pursue charges against people who are texting while driving.
That's right. This DUI and murder suspect could get life in prison if convicted.
You don't think it can happen to you. See, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. When the sands of time will run out within your hourglass.
New at 10, a hit and run caught on video, and now a teenager and his family are looking for the driver who took off.
He was a victim of a distracted driver hitting the road while riding his motorcycle going 65 miles per hour. He nearly lost his life. Now on a crusade to help save lives and prevent someone else from becoming a victim, the creator of DistractedDriversBusted.com and now the host of this podcast, it's Howard Drescher.
All right, welcome. Welcome to another show of DistractedDriversBusted.com, the podcast show. I am your host, Howard Drescher, the creator of DistractedDriversBusted.com, and of course, now this podcast show. You can follow me on Twitter at DistractedDBTV, at DistractedDBTV, and of course on Facebook, it's DistractedDB. And you get the shows on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and now Amazon. All you need to do is type in the keyword DistractedDB. And you can get not only this show, you can get archived shows from the past 6 or 7 years. Some of the shows may not be on these sites. I had like 2 years where I had my website kind of up and running. Hey, you notice I never even changed my opening, but what the heck? Hey, go with what's good. All right, so have we all had enough of the holiday spirits already? Thanksgiving for me is really a hard one because as a child, I, had my whole family around me. My mom, my dad, my brothers, my sisters, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, my nieces, my nephews sometimes. Sometimes we'd go to their place. Sometimes they would come to our place. But getting there did not seem as hard as it has been in the last couple of years. More and more people are on the road. More and more people thinking that they own the road, trying to get from one place to another. And yet, crazy things will happen. As in this story, or in this show, I should say, there are several things that are related into things that are happening, dealing with Thanksgiving Day. Now, I do have a story that happened probably about 2.5 weeks ago, maybe 2.5 weeks ago. Not saying for sure. And I got the story from KTLA Channel 5 here in Los Angeles. And I'm sure it's probably made the news all over the place. I wanted to wait a little bit before I commented on it. I just felt like, let this thing sit and brew for a few minutes. And I just wanted to hear, because I knew once it's been reported, I knew for a fact there's going to be several days of people reporting it, several days of follow-up stories on it, several days of this is what happened. No, this is exactly what happened. Oh, maybe this is what happened. So, I really hesitated to do this story today, but I just wanted to, I felt like the time is now just to do it, to get it done. And I'm sure you all know about the wrong way driver that injured 25 law enforcement recruits up there in LA County recruits. The wrong way driver. Now, I guess they're running in formation, the recruits. Kind of like we used to do while I was in the Marine Corps. We'd run in formations. We'd do different things. So that was very interesting. And it was kind of weird how this driver, 22-year-old driver, plowed into him. It's kind of strange. Was he under the influence? Was he sleeping? Was he just not knowing where he was at? He got on the exit the wrong way, and he ended up plowing into them. And I noticed on the next day, they were talking to him, and they found out there was no medication, there was no alcohol, he wasn't high or anything like that, from what I understand. But you have to wonder why. Why did this happen? We have to reach out and find out exactly why, to prevent it from happening again. Were they targeted by the young kid? Was he trying to get into the academy at one time and didn't make it, didn't qualify? I don't know. I can only speculate because I haven't really heard too much about it over the last couple of days. So I have to go back into my archives and find out. Where did it stop? Where did it end? Here's a story, again, from KTLA Channel 5 here in Los Angeles. And I appreciate them for allowing me to use the sound on this terrible story. Again, this happened maybe a week and a half ago, 10 days. Maybe within 10 days ago. I just wanted to wait on it. I wanted to hear more about what happened. Here's a story, again, from KTLA. And I appreciate them for allowing me to use the sound.
Yes, Pedro and Sharon, the streets here, they just opened up a short time ago. Now, we're told that there were 2 patrol cars, and they were providing security for these recruits as they're out of their morning jog. But those 2 cars, they were still blocking traffic back at that very busy intersection of Telegraph Road and Mills Avenue. As the recruits, their formation continued up here on Mills Avenue. And then when they got just about here, well, that's when that wrong-way driver plowed into them.
But as soon as the accident happened, the chaos, that ensued, it said it looked like an airplane wreck. There were so many bodies scattered everywhere.
A wrong-way driver plowed into a group of LA County Sheriff's recruits as they were on their morning run around 6:30, leaving dozens injured.
Now we're just facing some life-altering injuries from some most severely injured recruits.
The tragedy occurred not far from the Whittier Academy, where the 75 recruits began their run.
They were running in formation heading northbound on Mills Road north of Telegraph when a vehicle that was traveling southbound on Mills veered into the northbound lanes and struck the formation.
25 recruits were injured, 5 critically. This woman's son, who's one of the recruits and trained as a paramedic, began to triage his classmates.
He was okay and then tried to help other people around him as he was able to do. So he is still very moved by what has happened.
Meantime, some recruits ran to a nearby fire station that was only a few hundred feet away for help, while others tried to stop the driver who had run into a light pole but continued to keep his foot on the gas.
After he hit all the recruits, the driver still had his foot on the accelerator. So my boyfriend, seeing that, he tried to break the glass or the window open to try to get him to stop. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to, but they were able to open the door, whatever it was, and get the driver out and detain him.
Sheriff's officials say the driver is a 22-year-old male Hispanic from Diamond Bar. They say he tested negative for alcohol, but still need to determine if drugs or fatigue or anything else played a factor in this accident.
The CHP is handling the investigation as is proper because this is unincorporated county areas.
And the CHP says it will take them some time to do a thorough investigation on this tragic crash. Now, the 22-year-old driver, he was also taken to the hospital for treatment and is said to be cooperating with investigators. For now, reporting live here in Whittier, Mary Beth McDade. We'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
MB, thank you. And crash victims have been taken to several hospitals, including UC Irvine, where family members were airlifted to be with their loved ones.
KTLA Orange County Bureau Chief Chip Yost is live there with the latest on the injured victims. Chip.
Yeah, hi there, Pedro and Sharon. In a moment, you're going to hear more details about the injuries some of these cadets suffered from the sheriff. Injuries he called life-threatening and life-altering. That's one of the reasons some of the loved ones of the injured were rushed to hospitals like this one earlier today. The LA County Sheriff's Department helicopter landing at UCI Medical Center in Orange was just one sign of how serious things were. For the people on board were not patients. They were the loved ones of the law enforcement recruits who were seriously injured when a car crashed into them during a training run in Whittier Wednesday morning, and they were being rushed to the hospital to be by their family members' side.
Every time there's a deputy-involved shooting where an officer is down, we always do that. We offer that for any agency as well. And it's an important thing to get the family there at the side of their loved one as they're going through what could be a life-altering situations.
LA County Sheriff Alex Villanueva also showed up at the medical center to offer his support. UCI was just one of several hospitals where some of the injured were taken. 5 of the 25 injured recruits were in critical condition.
The range of injuries we have obviously are head trauma. We have broken bones. We've had some loss of limb, for example. Those are the severe range of injuries. These are life-threatening injuries.
The sheriff said a recruit who was taken to St. Francis Medical Center in Linwood was on a ventilator. Still, LA County's interim fire chief said things could have been even worse.
It's my understanding that the sheriff's department took the 4 most critical patients to the hospital immediately before the paramedic squads arrived, probably saving the lives of those sheriff recruits.
UCI medical officials say they received a total of 4 of those injured recruits. Of those 4, they say 2 came in critical condition. However, 1 has been upgraded to good condition. 2 others could be released as early as tonight. The last one still in critical condition. For now, reporting live here at UC Irvine Medical Center in Orange, I'm Chip Yost, KTLA 5 News.
All right, now I want to thank KTLA Channel 5 for allowing me to use the sound. This is a very, very terrible thing. This 22-year-old driver really seriously needs to be taken a look at. Again, I need to follow up a little bit more on this before I get back to you guys. I just wanted you guys, for those that may have not heard this audio piece, just to hear it and understand that how devastating that is going to be, not only for, the victims, their family members. And some of those recruits may not ever make it back to be a recruit because of this crash. This wrong way driver, 22-year-old, hit them, plowed into them. You're listening to DistractedDriversBusted.com. We'll be back right after this.
You've been putting back a few, and a few becomes a few too many. For a moment, you think about going for a ride. Nah, you live nearby. What's the worst that can happen? You get pulled over, your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone.
Hey, there's no way you can hide it. If you drive drunk, they're gonna find you. So stop kidding yourself.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight? Sir, have you been drinking this evening?
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
They will catch you and arrest you. Drive sober or get pulled over.
All right, you're listening to DistractedDriversBusted.com, the podcast show. I'm your host, Howard Drescher, the creator of DistractedDriversBusted.com, and of course now this podcast show. You can follow me on Twitter at DistractedDBTV, at DistractedDBTV, and of course on Facebook, DistractedDB. You can get the shows on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and Amazon. Just type in the keyword DistractedDB. Okay, so obviously Thanksgiving was a little bit different for some people. Some people that were on their way up in San Francisco were on their way to visit family and friends and to celebrate Thanksgiving the normal way. But unfortunately, that was not going to happen. That's not going to happen for them due to the fact that, unfortunately, There was a 6-car pileup. Okay. 2 people I know that were sent to the hospital after a Thanksgiving crash on the Bay Bridge up in San Francisco. And I want to say that there was like 16 people that were hurt altogether, which 8 of them were children. How is their Thanksgiving going to be now? How was it? It was them getting attended to. If they were lucky, they would go. Some of them may not have been able to travel on and visit families and friends and partake in the holiday festivities because of somebody doing something stupid on Thanksgiving. Like they felt like they had to be there to their families and friends sooner than these other people that were around them. This is why I talked about earlier in the beginning of the show, it is hard to understand the holidays the way they are. Christmas time, I don't go anywhere. I don't do anything. But I usually do some traveling a little bit during Thanksgiving. This year, I didn't travel anywhere for Thanksgiving, just knowing the fact that there's going to be people out there driving this the way this guy did. And again, this story comes from KTVU, and I appreciate them for allowing me to use the sound.
Now, 16 people, including 8 kids, were part of a multi-car crash on the Bay Bridge, causing some major traffic tie-ups. That wreck happened just hours ago, heading from San Francisco into Oakland. Good evening, everyone. I'm Frank Malakos.
And I'm Heather Holmes. The crash occurred inside the tunnel around 1 this afternoon. KTV's Brooks DeRose joins us now live from the toll plaza after talking with some of those crash victims. Brooks.
Well, all the lanes on the Bay Bridge from San Francisco to Oakland have since reopened. Things were moving smoothly until just a few minutes ago. We saw several CHP cruisers as well as a Caltrans tow truck headed in the Berkeley and Oakland directions, so we're not sure what the traffic tie-up is there. But earlier today, there were some scary moments inside the tunnel. Now, there were no serious injuries in this wreck, but many of the families are extra thankful because of that on this Thanksgiving.
The airbags went off. It was just like a skid and then impact.
They say it happened so fast, a chain reaction crash eastbound on the Bay Bridge and inside the Yerba Buena Tunnel.
I thought I was a goner at first when it happened. I mean, you see something like that, it's like coming towards you at full speed. I thought, well, this is it.
Ron Streeter and his wife were with his grandson and his girlfriend, heading to Modesto for Thanksgiving with family. Now just thankful to be alive.
But nobody in our group, except for maybe Whiplash, was injured. I hurt my fingers a little bit.
6 cars piled up just before 1 Thursday afternoon. Driver Shayna Kelly, with a car full of kids, describes a Tesla abruptly first swerving. Things got worse from there.
He just made a sudden stop. And at that point, it was nowhere to go. You couldn't go left, right, nowhere.
One car almost flew over us, but it got stopped, and it kind of was like that.
Police say 16 people were involved, 8 adults and 8 kids.
What's crash? It's crash.
I heard like shattering glass at the back of my head, and I felt like a thump, so I thought like the glass like shattered and then hit my head.
Some had to be rescued, but only 2 were rushed to the hospital with minor injuries. Everyone will survive. Mother Kelly says upon impact, she only had one thing on her mind.
My kids, my babies. I got a newborn baby right here, and my daughters, my son, my nephews.
All of them were headed to Antioch for family Thanksgiving dinner, which now will have to wait.
It's sad because I want to go eat.
Now, this really did snarl traffic for hours. All those banged up cars, they were brought here to the parking lot on the Oakland side of the Bay Bridge. CHP tells us that the cause of the crash is under investigation. Reporting live in Oakland at the Bay Bridge Toll Plaza, Brooks DeRose, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
All right, now I want to thank KTVU, Fox 2 News for allowing me to use the sound. Hours. Do you hear me? It was hours before that this tunnel, this bridge could actually kind of be open so people can travel to their destination. What are we doing, people? Why is it so important for certain people thinking they have the privilege to get to someplace faster than anybody else? Why? They got a nice car. They speed. They do whatever. It's not the time anymore. It's not the time anymore to be doing this. There's too many lives that get impacted by this. Too many families, their lives will be flipped upside down. There could be too many kids left without their parents. Or there could be parents who now have no longer any children because of somebody doing something stupid, getting into a crash, just because you think you need to be at a destination a lot sooner. Next time, leave earlier. Plan ahead. It's very simple, and it's just to the point where it is so crazy. I don't know how like a lot of people feel, but me, I don't want to really drive anywhere during the holidays anymore. I don't. Quite honestly, I don't like driving Monday through Friday to work because people think that I got to pull in front of you, and there's like a half a car length, and they'll try to squeeze in, knowing that, you're not going to get into a crash. Oh, you'll hit the brake. Don't worry, dude. I got a nicer car than you. That's how it is, and that's how it's going to be. I'm going to pull in front of you, so let me get in so I can get to work faster than you by about 2 minutes. Really? Is your life worth that? Is my life worth that? You have no respect for your other fellow drivers on a road anymore? It's coming to a boiling point where road rage is starting to pick up again. It's to the point where somebody's going to end up getting shot and killed because somebody cut somebody off, and an altercation is going to happen. It's going to blow up on the news, and people are going to go, why? How did this happen? I don't understand it. I'm telling you right now how it's freaking happening. Get it together. All right, you're listening to DistractedDriversBusted.com, the podcast show. I tried to be calm. I mean, actually, I was pretty calm during the Thanksgiving holiday. Oh, my gosh, the first show I'm doing back after Thanksgiving holiday, and my blood pressure's going up. Oh, my goodness. All right, well, here's another incident, and we're going to get to this when we come back from our commercial break. But here's an incident that dealt with, well, let's just say 2 homes, 1 car. They all met each other. And now there's a big mess to pick up. So during the holidays, instead of enjoying it, they're fixing stuff. We'll be back right after this.
You're listening to the DistractedDrivers.com podcast. We'll be right back.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey. Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse?
Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam! Ran right into the side of the saloon.
Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Neil Armstrong waited 6 hours and 39 minutes to step onto the surface of the moon. Jackie Robinson waited 20 months to play his first game with the Brooklyn Dodgers. And even DiCaprio had to wait 22 years to win an Oscar. You can wait until your destination. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Now, back to the DistractedDrivers.com podcast.
All right, welcome back to DistractedDriversBusted.com podcast show. I'm your host, Howard Drescher, the creator of DistractedDriversBusted.com, and of course, now this podcast show. You can follow me on Twitter at DistractedDBTV, at DistractedDBTV. On Facebook, it's DistractedDB. and on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and Amazon. Just type in the keyword DistractedDB and you can get all the past shows. As I mentioned earlier in the show, we're probably looking at maybe 6 years worth of shows, even though I've been doing it for 8 years. I think probably 2 years are probably not on those items. They used to be on my website and stuff, but I do have them archived, and if you heard me the first couple of shows, you don't want to listen to them. These shows that I do now are totally better. And do I make mistakes? Sure. Am I going to edit them out? No, because I'm human just like you. And I would rather just let people think that that's the way I am. I'm human. I'm talking to each and every one of you as if you were talking to me. And that's my philosophy on this. All right, so here's a story that I got from Fox 10 Phoenix, and I appreciate them for allowing me to use the sound. One car crashed into 2 homes on Thanksgiving Day. And then, of course, you know, the suspect, what did he do? Yeah, he ran. And right now, they're still looking for him. Here's a story again from Fox 10 News, and I appreciate, Fox 10 Phoenix, and I appreciate them for allowing me to use sound. See, I made that mistake, and I'm not correcting it.
2 families going to be spending their holidays cleaning up a big mess.
Because a car barrels right into 2 different homes at 35th Avenue and Camelback. And look at this scene. Police tell us a driver, after he crashed into these 2 homes, took off on foot. That person is still on the run this morning. Police suspecting they're probably drunk or some other sort of impairment. But look at the damage to that house. So the car on its side is gone. This truck got taken out. The carport got taken out. That red car got taken out. The fence in front of the one house. There was somebody inside this house here preparing their Thanksgiving dinner in the kitchen when this car almost came right through it. So we talked to a witness who was walking by moments after that crash.
This is very shocking for me to just be walking home and to see all of this, like, especially them crashing into their house. That's very crazy for them to put them in danger like that. A lot of people could have got hurt. Like, this could have went really bad during the day, because I know a lot of people who, like, walk down here all the time.
Yeah, it definitely could have been a lot worse, but this is still pretty bad. Looks like there's a lot of damage to that house. And it's one of those block houses, and the walls all crunched in. So a lot of cleanup to do. The incident under investigation.
All right, and I appreciate Fox 10 Phoenix, and I appreciate them for allowing me to use the sound. Yeah, it is a very dangerous situation. It is a very dangerous situation when you're in your home and all of a sudden, you're not expecting it, some car comes barreling through and parks right on your sofa with their car. Not a very good picture, not a very good sight, and quite honestly, these are the people that need to be locked up and throw away the key. Again, the perpetrator apparently is still on. He's on the run as of the time that I'm recording this show. Maybe, hopefully, there could be an update. I will check back with Fox 10 Phoenix to find out whether or not the perpetrator who crashed into 2 houses on Thanksgiving Day wrecked his car, wrecked their homes, and then he just gets out of the car and runs away. So he's being sought after by the cops. And hopefully they catch him. We need to get this kind of guy off the streets. There is no reason for him to be around because he has no remorse. He has no feelings for anybody or anything that he's done. Regardless of whatever he says, if he says, oh, I'm so sorry, if he gets caught, I'm so sorry, it shouldn't have happened, I know better. You're just sorry you got caught, dude. You are just freaking sorry you got caught. We can't let that kind of stuff happen anymore. All right, again, you're listening to DistractedDriversBusted.com, the podcast show. I appreciate each and every one of you who listen to the show. And I appreciate each and every one of you who IM me or DM me on my Facebook accounts. It's kind of important. I didn't do a question of the week. I did think of one, but I just felt it was going to be kind of stupid, so I let it go this week. We'll get back into that maybe next show. All right, remember, I don't want to die today, do you? Don't let anyone take the sands of time within your own hourglass. Until the next show, please be safe, and no texting and driving, no drinking and driving. Don't run into anybody's homes.